Hello, everybody. This is Dr. J, flying solo today as my colleagues couldn't make it for one reason or another. So I'm going to have to celebrate Thursday, happy Thursday, on my own. Well, not quite on my own, together with Laura. How you doing, Laura? Happy Thursday to you. It was a very good Thursday, although the after hours is kind of icky, except for Apple, which has remained strong. As Tim just noted, Apple is strong. One of my favorites. One of my other favorites, not so strong, Amazon. And also not so strong was Hood and Roku, and a bunch of Intel had bad guidance. So it was a mixed bag today in the after hours. Earnings were not the greatest, all told, outside of Apple. Apple is just amazing, and other areas of interest to this group is biotech, and some of our favorites got hurt today. CTIC and AUPH in particular, as Pete noted. BCRX is another one that was down on the day, and ATHX continues to drift down amidst fear of a likely reverse split followed by dilution. So there's mixed bag today on the street. My portfolio benefited from the general uptick today, but there was some that stocks had weighed it down a little bit. Microsoft bounced, Nvidia bounced. Yeah, there was some generally good tech results today. Andrew is with us today. So let's get started. We'll review the actual day on the street, and then we'll do some charting. The S&P was up 2.5%, or 103 points to 4287.50. Early this morning when the market was flat, I had the good fortune to buy some SPXL, which I day traded. I'm out of it now. Took my profit. Dow 30 up 1.85%, that is, or 614 points. The NASDAQ up a whopping 3%. The Russell up 1.8%. Everything up. Crude oil up as well to 105.30, 3.22%. Today is a day where everything points up. Gold was up almost 0.5%. Silver down 1%. The 10-year up 1.6% to 2.86% yield. And Bitcoin was up 2.26%, or almost 900 points to 40,053, back above 40,000, which is good. Amazon got killed after hours. Let's take a look. We'll start off by looking at the bad news. Amazon. Then we'll look at the good news. Apple. Amazon slammed down almost 9% after hours, 252 points to 2635. Wow, that's really getting slammed. I mean, it was up 128 points, so it lost double what it was up. So it's really terrible, terrible news for Amazon shareholders. And what really hurt them, apparently, is a big investment in Rivian, the electric vehicle maker Rivian. They had a big write-off, $7 billion, something like that. So that's what killed Amazon. Let's take a look at where 2635 puts it. 2635. Let's go to the weekly. 2635. The low back here in March was 26.71. So it's just below that low. Throw it in. If we were to open tomorrow where we are now, we'd be right about here. That's 26.09. All right, up a little bit. Something like that. And that's still 26.09. There we go, 26.37. So I drew the line where it would be if Amazon opens where it is trading in the after hours now, down 9% now. Wow. Where she stops, nobody knows, but Dr. J can take an educated guess as to where it might stop. Let's look at some possibilities here. I kind of like this level down here, 2240, believe it or not, is an interesting level because it's halfway up this big green candle, and it's on a couple of hits from the weekly lows. So this looks like an interesting spot at first glance for it to go down. That's another 400 points from where it's trading in after hours. But I do think that's possible. I think there's going to be weakness, follow-up weakness in Amazon, which could actually drag the whole market down. So as jubilant as I was before these earnings, that's how gloomy I feel right now after the earnings. But Apple, on the other hand, is going to lift my spirits a little bit. And sure enough, Apple is trading up 2% after hours. 2% up on my Apple, 10% down on my Amazon. And gee, I don't know. I think that's not a good deal. Notice it held the 50-day moving average, came down to that this week on the weekly. The 50-week moving average, I'm sorry. It held the 50-week moving average. Let's look at the daily. There's a nice big green candle today, followed by after hours, a little bit pop in the after hours. This might actually cancel out the effect of Amazon, because now that I'm looking at this, I see a different story for some tech stocks at least. So of course, this is probably the best of the tech, super powerhouse stock. I see it retesting 171 at this point. So I think we have more to go to the upside, even in the after hours. So in the after hours brings you to 167.30. I think we go to 171 before we get a little take back. So maybe we go to 171, test it, come back a little, maybe come back to the 100-day moving average, which is at 169.33, and then move forward again. So I'm looking for a run again to 171.5, 172, something like that on Apple. Let's look at the spiders. After hours, they're not getting, and at least they're not getting massacred in the after hours, but they are down a little. We were up 2.5% or 10 points to 427.81. On our show, we called 415 as a bottom. So far, that looks good. I've been calling 415 for a while now, and somehow the spiders heard me, because the low that it made yesterday was 415.01. I think that's close enough, 1 penny off. And sure enough, it had a hell of a good day today, smashing good day. As I said, I cashed in a little on the SPXL, and my overall portfolio looked good today. But you can't dismiss the impact of Intel and negative earnings on Amazon, bad poor guidance on Intel. Roku continues to not do well. I mean, it's holding its own in after hours, but not doing well. And Hood, the glamour stock of last year, is down to single digits. So you have a mixed picture with tech, no doubt. I mean, if you want to call it Hood tech, certainly it's a pandemic type play more than tech. And those are the ones that really got killed: the Pelotons, the Rokus, many others. But Amazon is not truly a stay-at-home pandemic play, but it did benefit from it. So I guess you could put it in that class. And if you put it in that class, it's the leader because it's probably about where it was prior to the pandemic, I would think. I'm just guessing, approximately. This has been a really good stock to own. Walmart consistently moving up over the last few months when the market has been struggling, when tech has been struggling. So retail, not all of retail is good, but Walmart's been very good. Continues to have good candles. Today was a good day. Target is another one that I think looks pretty decent. It did go down off the highs considerably, but it does look like it bottomed. It looks like it bottomed yesterday. It retested that bottom today and bounced off of it. Let's see what it does tomorrow. I think it'll continue to the upside. I think retail is going to be strong, including Target. So I like Walmart. I like Target. I continue to like Apple. Amazon, I think we could be in for some rocky road still on Amazon for a little bit longer. Maybe the split on June 2nd will propel it forward again. But I think the month of May could be a little rough for Amazon. I'm not going anywhere with my shares, but I'm just saying that it doesn't look too great right now. We'll see what happens. BCRX was one of my negatives on the day. It's funny, on good days, I tend to look at what went down, and on bad days, I tend to look at what went up. I don't know if it's human nature, but I tend to do that. So this is one that went down a little, BCRX, and it's been trending down slightly for the entire week, making one new daily low after another the entire week. Granted, not by much, but the direction is definitely down. Let's see if we can stem that tide. Today's low was the lowest of the week, I believe. It bounced off of it with the rest of, because the market was so strong. But it did test this low at 941 and it closed at 967. So it bounced off the low for not a drastically horrible day, but we're down 3% on a day when everything else is up 3% or more. So, you know, it looks like it's spacing. It doesn't look like it's going down much more, but I wouldn't be shocked if we get another couple of lows on BCRX. AUPH. Take a look at this one. By the way, we had a good call. Arjun really had the call. Arjun and I both. I suggested writing puts on the VIX, and Arjun actually did write puts on UVXY and is making good money on that. So that's probably the way to go, right? Puts on the VIX. If we get a rocky start to the day, it may not be too late. I do think the spiders will drift up, probably to what we talked about yesterday and the day before, and the day before that, and the day before that. I'm calling for a bounce on the spiders to 460. So from 415 to 460 is a big move. Arena Pharmaceuticals is another one that's been hurting my portfolio as it continues to make new lows. We took out the old low from middle of March, which was 991, 993, those lows. Today we hit a low of 970. So we were trading lower than the recent lows, bounced at the end of the day due to strength in the overall market. But Arena is also weak, and I wouldn't be shocked if it retests this low at 970, probably make a couple of more new lows before righting this ship. So I see further weakness in Arena, further weakness in BCRX, but not drastic weakness. ATHX has been burning a hole in my pocket, and everyone else who's long this one. Down another 2 cents or 4.5%. 2 cents is a lot when it starts at 48. So we hit a low to the new low today at 46 cents, 46.1 cents. We closed at 46.57 cents, bounced a tiny bit off that low. And this is a story of will they be able to survive financially through the middle of May or the end of May, whatever it takes for data to come out of its partner Helios on ischemic stroke. And you gotta get a few things working for you if you own this. You gotta get that data out quick, and that data's got to be good. Those two things happen, we'll be okay. This will probably go to $5, then dilute. It'll drop to $3, $2. You know, it's gonna gyrate like a top. It's gonna, or yo-yo, whatever you want to call it. So I think there's going to be a lot of gyrations in this stock. Opportunity for the nimble to make money. Hopefully. What else did I want to look at? After hours. Let's see how Roku is faring after hours. Roku is up after hours, 2.71%, $2.66, after being up 8% during the day. So we're getting a little bit of a jump in Roku off the bottom. The bottom was the day before, 84.29. Today's low is even lower, 83.75. So the bottom was, you may have seen the bottom in Roku. I mean, enough is enough going down. What was it? $400 during the pandemic? Something like that. So I'm calling for a bottom in Roku. How's that? All of you Roku holders, I think there's life to this one. And let's look at Hood, one that I like, although I do think it'll take some time to actually turn around. I definitely like this one. It's down to $9 after hours, another 10%. So it's down below this line. This line was 926, slightly below the line. Right about it. Well, a little bit higher than that. Yeah, you could basically a double ruled line. It's probably going to go lower than this, but I think it's going to be a phenomenal buy down around $8. So down around, or maybe a little higher than 730. Let me move this line up. Down around 775 is a very good entry point for this one. If it gets there, I think 775, 750, you can make a lot of money in a few years on this one. I think this one goes back to the 20s. So this one definitely intrigues me. What else was of interest after hours? The big bopper of the semiconductor world. Intel is looking putrid after hours as it gives poor guidance. I think it beat on top and bottom line, but the guidance was poor. So it's getting beat up. Can you own this one? Yeah, probably, because it was already beat up. How much more beat up is it going to get? I don't think it's going back. Well, maybe. I mean, and if there's market weakness, it could get back to this area down here, which is 4360 area. That's possible. Not probable. I think more likely it stops at around $45. No, not $45. What's this low? $45. Well, we're below that already. So I guess it's very possible. 4367 looks like the area of support, or the area of interest anyway, whether or not it proves to be support. I think it will prove to be support. I don't think this market is collapsing. And I think that's what it would take for Intel to go substantially below 4350. So I think we're at or near bottom with Intel. Buying opportunity. Let's see if anybody has any requests. PAVM, XBI. Okay. Let's try them. Whoops. What was that? PAVM and XBI. XBI. Is there a hope for the biotech track? Well, on a day when everything was up phenomenally, this was only up 0.36%. That alone tells the story. The candle is a recovery candle. It was down much lower. It was low of 72.58. But still, biotech is weak. I would look elsewhere. Even though it's tempting, it's always tough to catch that falling knife. Probably eventually this will be a great buy, but maybe not just yet. I think certainly it's going to retest that 72 area. I think, although it may not. I mean, one can never be sure. If I'm calling for spider at 460, then in the short term this should go up a little to $81. So let's put a trading range, 72 to 82, something like that for XBI. I got to be consistent, right? Then let's look at PAVM. I don't know. PAVM had a rally attempt. It looks like it's trying to form one of those one of these nice patterns, bullish pattern, but it had a yucky candle today on a day when most things were up. I mean, not BioDrac, of course. So I don't know what this one does. PAVM. I think it's BioDrac. But in any event, it's not looking too good. Even though it's got 3/4 of a cup and handle pattern, which is bullish, I still don't like it because it got repelled by the 50-day, and it had a very nice candle yesterday. Give it all back today. That's not for me. Don't like it because of that. I don't know the fundamentals, but you'd think that a nice cup and handle type formation, if it continued, would take you up to here, 177, and then maybe a little pullback and then a continuation higher. But I don't know if that's happening. Got to watch it. Let's see if it completes. If it completes the cup, then then there's hope for it to go up. But if it doesn't complete the cup, forget about it. It's going to go back below $1, probably. Let's see, what was the low back over here? $1.99. It's either, if it doesn't get up to this level here to complete the cup pot, 177. If it can continue on up, then it's going to retest that low, right at $1. So it's at an interesting level right now, about halfway up the cup. Not even, because it had a bad day today. It was halfway up the cup. Not in love with the action on this one due to today's candle. If you asked me yesterday, I'd have given you a different answer. That's the way life is, I guess. Yesterday, technically, it looked better than today. Arjun is the man, because Arjun, I want you to know, is making money. You want to tell everyone how you're making money?
So Apple helped.
Yes. What you didn't you write puts on the VIX?
Oh, I didn't write puts.
Buy.
I bought some UVXY puts. I didn't buy enough. I was a little scared. But yeah, it paid. It paid, and I closed my cost basis. I left a few runners because I just didn't know. Basically, I didn't care about Amazon, but I was scared that if Apple didn't beat, that the market would really punish.
Well, Amazon has an excuse, Rivian.
Yeah, but I just don't like what I'm seeing regardless. I don't think the value is there quite yet.
It had slower growth than it normally does.
Yeah. Apple, though, I mean, is just a behemoth. And I think, in my opinion, I think them beating is further affirmation that we're going to bottom here or soon.
I agree.
I think that was huge for them to beat with GDP slowing, and I mean that was very, very impressive.
Well, Laura asks a good question. If we're going to shun biotech, what sectors should we be in?
So I like shipping right now. I think it's going to bounce back big. Commodities, and then your safe retail plays where people hide during inflationary environments, like a Costco maybe, or a Walmart.
And a Target.
Yeah, tech to me, there's still a little bit of risk here. You can scale in because there's a lot of things that are looking very attractive price wise.
Yeah, I think it's an individual story. The Microsofts of the world look good, and other tech giants don't. So it's, you got to pick and choose.
Yeah, and I actually bought some pen. I had been out of that for a while, but I think that we're at a place where you can start scaling back into that one too, because pen, which is the gambling one, it's kind of similar to DraftKings. It's right at the levels that it was right before the COVID crash happened. So I think that's a nice little nibble.
Well, I think generally stocks that benefited from the pandemic are the ones that are getting destroyed, and to a certain extent, the Pens and the DraftKings did benefit from the pandemic.
Yeah, they did. But I also think, the NFL draft is today, and I think generally they're going to do. I think they're going to do better. Well, they're not going to do necessarily better than they did during COVID. I just think they got punished in a way that doesn't reflect something that's fair.
Yeah. Well, luckily for me, I did one good thing today. I bought some SPXL early in the day. I got it at a good price, and I made about 5% quick, and I got out. I probably would have made a little more, but you can't sneeze at 5%.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So yeah, I missed all the charts, but you like what you're seeing on SPY? It was a good day.
Yeah, I'm going to put SPY back for you.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to because the market's gonna digest these two big earnings that were opposite, and I expect I expect a bullish May, and I think that the Fed is going to be dovish.
I think the Fed is neither dovish nor hawkish. I think they're just responding to what they see.
Yeah, I guess when I say dovish, I mean relative to what everyone's been
They're
pricing
not
in.
going to they're not going to overreact and do 75 points. I
Yeah,
don't think so.
yeah, I think so too.
I don't think they will.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a good candle today, though. Closed near the top.
So, but we're both of the mindset that we're going to get a retest of this 462 area, 460, and that we've probably seen the bottom for now at 415. But I see it going up to this level and another retest of 415. That's my call all along. Or
Yeah,
maybe it doesn't get quite to 460. It might get to 448, retest, and then go to 460.
yeah. I count this as a double bottom. This looks good.
Yes, it looks real good. It looks like a solid support area. But if it doesn't move up, well, then what happens? The opposite, right? Always. If it doesn't move up and it hangs around too close to the bottom, it'll retest the bottom and ultimately take it out. So
Yeah,
you want to see a continuation of this move. You want it to go up to about at least 448 to feel confident that this low is likely going to hold.
yep. I agree, but I'll put the odds 2 or maybe even 3 to 1 to the upside at this point. I really like today's candle.
I just don't like some of the after hours stuff that's going on. It's not just Amazon, it's also Hood and Intel and some general kind of weakness in the earnings. I didn't check Big Steel, but
Yeah, I mean, I tend to simplify these things as Apple goes, the market goes. I think that one's gonna end up mattering a lot.
I think they reported after hours, so they look okay. They're up 3% after hours.
That's good.
Yeah. So if it's just an Amazon story, then the market won't collapse tomorrow. It'll go up.
Or Apple, yeah.
If it's Apple counteracts Amazon.
Yeah, I think Apple matters more than Amazon, yeah.
Well, at least if it was only an Amazon story, it might pull down the market, but it's more than that. So
Yeah, agreed. And I mean, I think the amount it went up today was enough to warrant a pullback regardless. So I don't think the down after hours is something I'm too worried about. We'll see where it stops though. I don't want to close the week at 420. I want to close closer to
I
430.
think Amazon is going to have further weakness. So
Yeah.
I showed where I thought it was going to stop, and it wasn't a pretty picture.
Yeah, I think I was seeing 2100.
I was looking at the middle of this candle on the weekly.
Oh, so not that low. Okay. But I guess don't be surprised if it goes back to that COVID pivot of March 2020. Yeah,
I'm looking at 2250
yeah.
for
I think
Amazon.
that's reasonable. Maybe it catches that 200 week, but I think tomorrow's going to be.
This is what we're hoping for. I think this is definitely going to be tested 25.25. Now, I mean, we're not far away from that now, are we? 25.25? No, we're 85 points away. So that 200 day is going to be tested.
Yeah, I like where you drew that horizontal line. I think it's going to go there. Yeah.
I do. I mean, I own a ton of this. I'm not happy about it, but I'm not going to sell any. I might hedge with some puts. I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Do you ever sell covered calls on this?
I haven't. I don't like to. I wouldn't say have I ever. Yes, I have ever, but
Yeah.
invariably the stock gets called away from me, and I kick myself. So
Yeah, I guess so. I like using those as a hedge.
I'd rather spend money and buy a put or two as a hedge.
I guess that's a cheaper hedge, yeah, with higher upside.
Well, it's costly also. You might have to pay 10% in order to hedge your bet.
Yeah.
Probably. But it could be worth it because it prevents that big collapse. It doesn't hurt you if there's a big collapse. That's how I usually play the put. And I'm not looking to say to buy a put, spend 10% of my investment for a put just to protect 5% down. I'm looking to protect at least 10% down.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because in this market, you're seeing 10% down, so you might as well.
Yeah. All right, so that's it for today. I'm glad you showed up. We covered a lot of ground. Jiggly, what is he talking? CTRM? I don't know. I don't know what everyone's talking. We'll have to read the group chat. I suggest everyone read the group chat because it's very interesting. As always, do your own due diligence. Our opinion is strictly our own, do not constitute investment advice. Check with an advisor before acting and subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Give us a couple of thumbs up. Click that thumbs up twice. No, that's no good. That would cancel it out.
Just have your
All right,
friend.
everybody, have a good one.
All right.